Hi, my name is Michael Dell. I'm a Ganawage Rono living with special needs. When I was interviewed, I had an idea for a show for people from Ganawage living with disabilities. Today is the start of that show, Walk in My World. Often, people with disabilities lead sheltered lives, and their interactions are limited to caregivers and family members. I hope this show will bring you awareness of these people, their families, their lives, and their dreams for the future. Welcome back to another episode of Walk in My World. This time we are doing a special Christmas episode from the grill, and we thank them for hosting the Walk in My World Christmas episode. This time we will have a different format of guests, each coming in to talk about what they've done in their respective fields since they've appeared on Walk in My World throughout the season so far. And now we will start with Noma and Natalie from Kadri School. Thank you and welcome back to Walk in My World.
Thank you. Thank you.
So can you tell us what has happened since you've done the original Walk in My World interview?
We've had some people come up to us and say, we saw you on the show. And some people never knew what our class was like, so it was interesting for them to know what was going on.
Wow, that's positive. Before that, was it easy to get that kind of feedback?
The people that didn't know about the classroom were interested, and it was new. And for those that were at Kadri School, they all knew about this classroom. So it was just comments that we were on the show.
Yeah. So the comments for the show were all positive?
All positive, yes.
It just goes to show the community that Walk in My World is serving the purpose that I intended for it to do. And by the community watching it, it shows that they're paying attention to everybody's special need for whatever it may be. So how could you see Walk in My World continuing to help the special needs population of Ganawage? If I came back to Kadri School, is there some way that I could help you out than just doing one-on-one interviews?
I would love you. I would love you to come in and see how much the children have learned so far. They're all reading now, and even though some of them don't have a voice, they can actually read using the Dynavox. So I would love people in the community to see how much they know, and also to come in at different times so that you could see how they socialize with the other children that come visit us in our classroom. So I would like to have samples of what they do so people can see how much they know and how well they do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I think the kids need that interaction from other people that come from the community. They need to see people from the community coming into the school.
So what you're saying is that there's enough staff interaction within the school, but there's not enough community interaction from the community. So I guess you're saying that you have enough at open house and that's it, but you don't have enough community interaction day to day with your class.
If we invite community members to come into our class, they will come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want them to see that they can read,
yeah,
and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, so maybe next time, yeah, you can come and visit us during those times.
Yeah. So that's why we will be keeping in touch by email. And
okay, sure.
If you feel that there's something, then just let me know.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did he stand in a way?
We are in a restaurant environment, and these kids have done remarkably well in a restaurant environment, considering that they have special needs. But as I always say on my show, we don't label the special needs or we don't look at the special needs, we look at the gift. So, but now, to end their segment, they're just going to wish the community of Ganawage Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Say it louder.
Merry Christmas.
Right, say hi.
Hi.
Say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.
Wave. You gonna wave? I want to thank Michael Dell for bringing the show into the community. I was actually never aware of the show before, but now that I am and I saw the tape that he was nice enough to give to our class, he's doing something very special for the community, letting people know that all people are the same, but we all have different needs. And since the show, people have come up to me and said they saw our class on the show and they were never aware of what we were doing. So he's just made people aware in Ganawage of the different services offered in the community. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do. So thank you.
Now we shift gears and we are talking to Eugene Mator from Dewani Dazata. If you remember last February, Eugene and Lauren appeared to talk about what it was like to go to live with mental illness. And Eugene has graciously agreed to come back and he wants to explain a little bit about the feedback that they got since that show aired on this Christmas episode. Thank you, Eugene, for coming back on this Christmas episode.
Well, thanks for having me here. And the other thing is that with the feedback, we to this day, I still get people seeing them on the road and they'll make comments about seeing the show when it was originally telecast, and it's been telecast a couple times, I guess, since last February as a rerun, and people have seen it, and we get a lot of good feedback. People asking questions or asking how we deal with it, so on and so forth. And my wife's always getting phone calls, and sometimes she even sees stuff on Facebook. People asking her different things about that, so it's. I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes about that in the community, and realizing that there's a lot of mental health issues going around, and that there's people are not alone.
You're never alone when you suffer through mental illness, because it's such a very difficult disease to live with. That in Ganawage we should be grateful that we live in a community with strong resources and we have good family support. And I hope that when that show aired, like Jean said, it opened some eyes. But if you manage to catch the rebroadcast at times, you know, and you watched one show or another, you know, and you didn't really understand it, take the time to understand it, because the people that have walked on Walk in My World set have come to pour their heart out, and they deserve the gratitude and thanks for doing that. And they do get it from me, but if they get it from somebody in the community, it means that much more. It means that the message is getting out. So is there anything else you want to add?
No, just say Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
And a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you too. Now I have in the Walk in My World seat Betty Deer. If you remember a couple of months back, we did a show on special education. So Betty worked in the school system for many years, many decades, and she has seen it all. And that's what that topic was about. So now Betty has graciously agreed to come back on the Walk in My World Christmas special to bring us up to date on some feedback and some thoughts that she has. So welcome back to Walk in My World Christmas special.
Yawa, Mike. Well, since last time I was here, I was in front of the kindergarten school. That's where my career in special needs happened. And I got a lot of feedback from people. They were so happy, and they wanted to know about these things, but they're also so proud of us in Kahnawake, like what we have and how we take care of our children. So I want to thank you for giving me that opportunity. Yeah, and then you remember that other person that appeared on your show? She had special needs. That was that old lady from Augustine.
Oh,
remember
yes.
her?
Oh, yes.
And she had a lot of trouble with her speech, you know.
Oh, yes.
Well, I have a really good story about her. And
Let-
yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'll call her in. Okay. Hage wagatari ha. I just come from Augustine, Mike, because you gave me the word to get here, and here I am. I had to come by my canoe again because the highways are all dug up. You know, you can't go nowhere. You're in traffic. But I got a success story for me, the old lady. This summer, I got a call from a casting company. They wanted me to appear in their movie. So it was called Crooked Arrows. It was about lacrosse. And they wanted me to play the grandmother of the coach. And so I did. I went all the way to Boston. And there, when I landed from the plane, a limousine was waiting for me. And they took me to a hotel, and I had my own suite. And I had my own driver to take me to the locations. And there I even had my own trailer, Mike, with a refrigerator, and there was a microwave, a TV, a couch, and even my own toilet. It was wonderful, and I owe it all to you, Mike, because I appeared on your show. And I got the courage to go out there and try my luck in the movie business. And the movie is coming out in April, at the end of April. So if people are going to come to see me, they're going to see a person that's a big success. And I want to thank you for giving me that opportunity, Mike. Now I got to go all the way back to Agbazasne because there's no limousine. How come, Mike, you didn't send a limousine for me? Eh?
Yeah.
I'm back to the everyday now, eh? Onigiwahi.
Oh, no. Wow. How do I follow up that?
I'd like to thank Michael Dell for initiating this program, Walk in My World, because it gave me the opportunity to talk about something I'm very passionate about, and that's the children who have, I don't like that word special needs, because we all have special needs. For the children who our schools have a hard time to accommodate. And this is what Michael has brought out. He has shared his own experiences with all of us. And he's opened up this, before people they were kind of, hidden at home, but he brought it right out in the open, and he's right there, and and everyone has learned. And for me personally, I've learned a lot from everyone that appeared on the show, and I admired their courage, and especially Michael. He's like a star now. I could see him being on APTN. Nobody else is doing this, And I like to see him even, it could be a documentary about him. There's no limit to what this guy can do.
We switched gears yet again, and we've brought another guest in. If you remember from a couple of months ago, a couple of episodes back, We had Lynn and Ross on TV. But we've had Lynn on for multiple different topics. And she's going to explain about how she has received feedback on those multiple different topics. So welcome, Lynn, and thank you for appearing on the Walk in My World Christmas special.
Thank you for having me, Mike. I guess the feedback on, in general, on the 3 occasions I was on, certainly Sarah's story made the most impact. Got a lot of feedback on that, and they were really happy to see that Sarah was doing well, you know, and had so many qualities that they couldn't see for themselves other than what I had expressed on TV. The group showing with the moms of special needs children was really good, and the feedback I had was mostly from other moms, you know, who could relate to the issues that we all had, and they're really happy to not feel alone anymore by being part of that. The other one about myself and my vision, I got I was really thankful for the people who came up to me after and listened to what I had to say when I had asked that people, because I can't see them, come closer to me and say who they are and say hello. And some people actually did that. So I was really, really happy. I don't feel so bad anymore about not being able to see people and acknowledge them. So I really, really appreciate you, Mike, for the work that you've done for me and my family and the shows that you've done in this Walk in My World. I guess on behalf of the family and everybody else, you know, I really see, you know, so much potential in the future still for special needs people and everybody in general, learning from each other. I've worked in this area for 30 years since Sarah was born, in the step-by-step and in education and in the community. And you're taking this work so much further with what you're doing. So I hold you in high regard, Michael, you know, and you are an accomplishment that I think a lot of special needs people and everyday people can see themselves, you know, looking towards you as a role model. So thank you so much, Michael. You make me feel so good by what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to put something extra. This show, for many people that doesn't know and maybe only knew in the beginning, was a brainchild of me. By me putting everything together and working with KLC, working with Moloch TV, and working with everybody involved. But the idea, if you remember from the original pilot episode, came to me in a dream. And that person is not here no more. And I continue to follow her vision, and she gave me the guiding principles for Walk in My World. And she is no longer among the living, but she still inspires me in my thoughts and in my daily goals every day. And that person is the late June DeVille, who was the director of Kadri Memorial Hospital for many, many years. And before she went on into the spirit world, she said, I won't be able to continue my work anymore the way I had the vision because my health is declining. I will have to step aside from my duties at Kadri Hospital in a short time. Shortly after, I think it was about 2 years after, or somewhere like this, she was not able to continue her work at Kadri Hospital, and plans had to be made for her to simply exit. But she did remain at home for a short time after. And then one day she phoned me up and she said, I'm getting ready to move on into the spirit world now. And I said, oh no, your work is done. She said, oh no, my work is done, because if I die, in the next 2 days, nobody will take this work over. Yes, there'll be a Kadri Memorial Hospital director, and I hold high regard for Susan DeVille and her team at Kadri Hospital for what they're doing. It's a thankless job that each and every person that works there daily does in each department, because it's not easy to run a hospital and live in your own community. And you know, I hold high regard for when I walk into Kadri Hospital, and I run into Susan occasionally, and I know for a fact that she watches the show, and she gives me a good tap on the shoulder and says, keep up the good work, because without you and in the field that you're trying to cover, we cannot do our work. So I owe special thanks to people like at all these different organizations, They Want Dazata and the like, but I owe a special thanks to Kadri Hospital because of that one person that's no longer there, who worked there and who had got things not rolling for me for Walking My World, but who gave me the vision to start Walking My World and continue for however long it may be. So I thank you, Lynn and Ross, for appearing on the show, and I felt that I had to take a little extra time from your interview and put that in, because I know that's a family member that's no longer a part of your life, but I know that's a family member that's close to your heart still. And Yahweh, and Merry Christmas to both of you, and thank you for coming on Walking My World.
Oh, you're so welcome, Michael. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you and everybody else out there.
Thank you. Okay, we switched up guests yet again. This time we're talking to Dale Beauchamp and Tracy Johnson from Kadri Memorial Hospital Center. And if you remember, those of you that watch Walking My World religiously, Dale did a special episode on Alzheimer's disease, and Tracy did a special episode on what kind of services we have in Ganawage geared for elderly and physically challenged. So thank you and welcome to Walking My World Christmas episode.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks. Nice to be here.
So which one did you want to go first?
Well, I'll go first, if you don't mind. I just wanted to say thank you for having us, Mike. And I did get some interesting feedback from community members. It was really, really impactful for sure. I was kind of surprised at the range of different community members that did watch my episode. It was really surprising that people thought it was a good show and I did a good job, and it was really, really nice. It was good feedback. So I had a really good time. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
And I also got really good feedback after airing on your show. My grandchildren were so excited. They're like, Grandma Tracy, we seen you on Walking My World. And they paid attention and they listened to the show, and they even found it interesting. Many of our elders that were either our clients or people who weren't our clients found it very informative, and said that a lot of the topics that we discussed they weren't familiar with, and they were happy to learn how the system work, how to access services. They were happy to know of all the services that were available for the elderly and the handicapped. I think myself and Dale would both, and you, Mike, would agree that we are very fortunate in our community to have many services for the elderly and the handicapped. And something that we would like, I'm glad that we're sitting here together, because we were both on your show on separate occasions, and only after realized that we provide such similar services to the community. We both work for Kadri Hospital, but as you know, my office is located at the Turtle Bay Elders Lodge as the manager of home care nursing, and we're actually an amalgamated program called Home and Community Care, and we work hand in hand. So we share a large number of clients, and basically we do the same work in different organizations with the goal of making sure our elderly are safe at home and that they're able to stay at home as long as possible before coming into any type of care.
That's right. So we work very closely together. I'm the liaison for home care in Kadri Hospital. So Tracy and I speak a lot on the phone, and I speak a lot with her staff, her team, the home care nurses.
That's interesting. And that's been since when?
Well, I've been at Kadri now since 2002, so since then.
And it's just like a review, but in 1990, it's a little bit debatable, somewhere between 1998 and 1999, when the Elders Lodge was completed, the home care nursing department of Kadri Hospital moved to the lodge, and that's when we became home and community care. So that's how long I've been collaborating. I feel like I'm a member of both organizations, working together with the same goals. We have the same goals.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I just want the community of Kahnawake to know that when you see an expert appear on here from Kadri Hospital or the like, or when any guest appears on here to talk about any specific topic, that it may be sensitive, some topics that we've discussed, but I do a little background research just to bring myself up to date on whatever we're talking about. But I'm learning right along with you out there when you're watching on TV. So if Tracy Ardale did come appear on Walking My World, they would get some questions beforehand just to make them feel comfortable so they would know what topic they're covering. But I'm learning right along with you. So if I'm learning about Alzheimer's disease, I would go on the internet and get some questions or watch an Alzheimer's episode off the net. But I'm learning right along with you. So some of it has to be pre-prepared. But when I can, I'd like to learn right along with you. So I'm getting the up-to-date information right from the people that are on the ground. So that's because without these people on the ground in different areas, then where would we be and where would I be? Because I don't want this to be put together as a fast magazine show where people don't understand and they get lost. So that's why we spend so much time preparing carefully. So is there anything else you wanted to add before we finish?
Well, like your other guests had mentioned, we're just very happy to be able to appear on your show, and we're happy that your show is up and running, and it is very informative for the community. And we're just very proud of your accomplishments, and if there's any way we can help to inform the community about any topics that we're like you, we're learning too all the time. Sometimes we learn so much information about one topic, and in 2 years there's so many updates and new innovations, and we want to bring it back and share it with the community.
I just want to share something else with the community that came to my knowledge within the past couple of weeks. Walking My World runs on a very limited budget, and we have to keep that budget for a long period or for as long as it lasts. But we have to I feel that I will not just take any idea and just put it there. I have to put responsible topics so people will stay tuned in. And I'm happy to announce today that the Case Popular Kahnawake Community Development Fund has granted Walking My World $10,000 to continue the Walking My World project. And let me tell you that I'm totally grateful to everybody that has come on the air to help me express those ideas. But I will not be anywhere without community support monetarily, meaning Case Popular Ganawage and Brighter Futures. For those people, I wish them a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I thank you for your support for the Walk in My World series. And for you guys, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I know I'll be seeing you somewhere along the line.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Michael.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you. Okay, we've come to the end of the original interviews for Walk in My World, and I'm sitting here now with the owner of Moloch TV, Reagan Jacob Stock, and we're going to talk about how Walk in My World became to be associated with Moloch TV. Welcome, Reagan, and thank you for appearing on the Walk in My World Christmas special.
You're welcome. I'm honored to be here.
And maybe you can just bring Ganawagi up to date for how Walk in My World became associated with Moloch TV.
Well, several years back, almost 3 seasons ago, obviously Mike had approached me and we were discussing the idea for this program. And we thought it was a really good idea, so we started working with him and Diane LaBelle at the time, who's the one of the proprietors of the Ganawage Learning Center. And from there, we just developed this program that focused on special needs in the community and was our first season, and it was a great learning experience for all of us. To do this type of show, you may not think so, but it is a lot of work and a lot of planning for Michael and from Michael. It's a lot of teamwork, but we get it done, and pretty much that's the history of how it got developed in the first place.
Because yeah, people think it's can be put together haphazardly, but if you don't have a good team from Moloch TV that really put their heart into the production, then you can't run a show like that, because yes, it's me that's in front of the camera, but there's two people that really helped me put the show together from Moloch TV. And a lot of people say, well, how come they don't get thanked? And I do thank them each time we're together after production is done, but they never really get thanked community-wise, and I would be nowhere without Reagan Jacob Stock, Jessica Deere, or Jim, who really have taken me under their wing. Mind you, I didn't know a lot about TV when I first started.
Right.
I would say I know a lot more now than what I did back then. And you know, although the original cameraman for Walk in My World has moved on,
Right.
Jim is a good replacement, and I couldn't think of.
That's what we're calling him. Jim the camera guy.
Jim the camera guy, and Jessica Deere, who really have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into Walk in My World. Mind you, they have other productions that they have to take care of as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, but the time of day that they give me for Walk in My World, I am forever grateful. And next time you see Jessica in the community, and now that you know that she's involved with Expose, plus Walk in My World, just say high five, because she's really, really giving herself all to Walk in My World, and so has Jim. So I really, really wanted to take the time to really thank them properly, being that we're going into the Christmas season, and I didn't want to forget them, and because they're two very special people that are very close with to my heart. The next one is my mom, because my mom gets me all over the place where I need to go. So, you know, Merry Christmas to you too, Mom. And thank you to everybody that appeared on Walking My World for this special Christmas episode. And I realize that Mike is not here today, but on behalf of my family, to your family, Merry Christmas. And thank you for everything that you've done to help bring Walking My World where it is now. And for 2012, I hope that Walking My World will just continue to go where it needs to go. And I hope that it will continue to have Moloch TV support.
Of course, and I mean, one thing that I'd like to say to you, Mike, is that it's been a pleasure to work with you, and over the last couple of seasons, we have developed a good friendship between our staff and yourself, and your mom, of course, who, you're right, is an integral part of the program. And also, we'd like to thank the community for being so supportive and all the organizations, because without that, we could definitely not put the show together. But on another note, you've helped to open my eyes, and certainly a lot of other people, about the truth and the reality of living here in Kahnawake with special needs. And I mean, it's an honor for me to work on this program. And, you know, at the end of the day, we do work for you, and this is your show. And it really is a privilege to co-produce and direct this program. And I feel honored that, you know, we continue to work together, and you're a very forgiving boss. And yes, you're right, Jessica and Jim are our team here at Moloch TV. Basically, they're very good at what they do, and I feel lucky too to work with them. So to both of them, and to you, Mike, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and of course to the community too, and my husband and children.
And just to the community, my email will be open over the holiday period. When you see me on the street, and if you have an idea for a Walk in My World, my email will be open. It's just that now that this is the last production before Christmas, I will be stepping back from my duties here on Walk in My World to spend time with my family. But I will be looking over emails, so if you want to email me, you can email me at mike.dell@paulcom.ca. On behalf of my family and to the whole community of Kahnawake, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
More than 14% of all Canadians have a disability. For Aboriginal First Nations people in Canada, there are 33% of people living with disabilities. People living with disabilities are subject to exclusion, poverty, and isolation. There are higher rates of depression, suicide, violence, and abuse for people with disabilities. We know that for Aboriginal people with disabilities in Canada, all of these rates and percentages are even higher. Statistics according to Independent Living Canada.
Kanya ke haga thadi adaraste kayerniga hiadu zewaderoru.